Okay, welcome to the mailbag. Here comes the mailbag.
Mailbag.
Yeah, thank you very much. Maybe we could get former champ to do a little jingle for us.
A sting?
A sting.
Yeah.
Just some kind of... some stings would be good.
Yeah.
Maybe get stinging to do some stings.
Expensive.
Some tantric stings.
You know, I'm very attached to Sting now because Eva Cassidy covered one of his songs.
I think Eva Cassidy and Lana Del Rey kind of share a gossamer quality.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Must have been weird to be Sting and hear your work delivered in that voice, I think. Incredible.
What do you mean? Because it's good?
Someone... Well...
Must be weird to be shit
No.
and hear it done well.
Imagine you heard your jokes
Uh-huh.
just delivered in the voice of an angel, an angelic choir.
Yeah.
It'd be quite disconcerting. I wonder what he felt about it.
Let's ask him.
If you're out there, Sting.
Sting, if you want to send in some mailbag stuff, you can send it to hctg at... I don't know what the actual email address is, actually. I'm sure. I'm
Probably.
sure it says it at the start.
And also do it quick because we might get sacked.
Okay, yeah. Hello, Susie, Frankie, and CMB. I am currently in Japan, and much like Christopher, I intend on bringing this up in conversation for the foreseeable future. I am loving the experience here and wondered if any of you have a particular fondness of any country, not Ireland, and much like Christopher, have taken on some foreign customs or beliefs in your own lives, or perhaps the opposite, where you've been somewhere and utterly resented a certain aspect of how they do things. Less advice-based, I know, just interested in your travel experiences. Love the pod, been listening since day one, and it's always the soundtrack to my Monday commute to work. Lots of love from Wales and Japan. Jack. There you go, Jack's in Japan.
Well,
Is there anywhere you've been and you thought this is the way to do it?
not really. I mean, I had a friend who said to me one time, you know, you should travel more because then you realise that what you think you hate about Scotland is just stuff you hate, generally. And
About the human race?
Yeah, it did sort of... Things I had thought were particularly Scottish or British, like everybody rushing to get on a train or something like that, is really, like, common.
Prevalent, yeah. Anywhere the social contract has crumbled, which is...
Well, maybe that's it too.
Well,
But do you know what? I've been to Italy quite a few times. I'm going to go again. I really like Italy. And there's a nice thing to Italy, which is a double-edged sword, a bit. But people aren't up in other people's business.
Oh, really?
People are quite self-contained.
Right.
To the point that you can feel you're kind of invisible sometimes.
You like that?
And well, after a week, you kind of go, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
These people don't need anything from me. They don't want anything from me. And they don't even really notice that I'm there until we have to make some kind of transaction.
Yeah.
And that's kind of not so bad.
Japan was like that in terms of, like, you're a tourist and they prefer that you're not there. The way we kind of think about, like, Americans in Edinburgh or something, where you're like, Jesus, these annoying bastards. And being so loud and just everything. That's kind of what I felt like there. And I was trying to be respectful as I could with someone who loves...
And looking as Japanese as you could.
Yeah. I thought I would blend in better, but then, you know, you're farting on the subway or something and everybody's fucking, you know, giving you looks. What else? Like, I think, and in Australia as well, I kind of felt like that, where it was like nobody, you know, people say Glasgow's so friendly, but in actual fact, a lot of that friendliness is just getting involved in your business, and you're like, hey, just please leave me alone.
I think people, I mean, I say it all the time, but I think people in Glasgow are a bit bored. There's just not that much to do here. And we try and make our own fun, of course we do.
Yeah.
We call it an art scene. And at the same time, people are a bit gossipy, a bit fucking moany.
It's a big village.
And it's a big village, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everybody knows somebody who knows you.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do think there's, on the counteract from what you said, the counteract, as a response to what you said about, like, is stuff that you thought you hated about Scotland is actually the human race. I do think that I remember being really depressed as a teenager and thinking that I didn't like being alive, and then going to Australia and being like, no, I don't like being alive here. Like, this country is so freezing, and the cringe factor, people not really liking when you try anything.
It's limiting.
It's very limiting.
And there's a lot of interpersonal aggression.
Yeah.
And even if you're just the sort of person who notices that, it can be quite wearing.
Oh.
And
I was reading a book about trauma. The body keeps the score. And I was like, that's what I'm like. I'm always going into a room and going, right, stand me back to the wall and just keep your eyes on everybody and stuff. And it's like, well, that's what happens when you grow up and go to Bannerman High School and instead, like, people bringing knives to school and, threatening people in the changing rooms, and everybody's, super violent and stuff. You're just like, Jesus, I've got trauma for that. And you go to other places and they're a bit more chilled out and distant. And first you're like, hey, fucking be nice to me. Because the way it is here is like a hyper friendliness to combat the fact that everybody has to just let me know what you're like, when you walk in a room.
Yeah, I don't know if you can ever entirely shake it. I did a thing on the train. I got on the wrong train the other day, and the guy surcharged me. What I felt was a bit shit because I'd obviously just gone on the wrong platform. And I did sort of mildly moan about, it's like, and now the train's running late, and I'm not even going to make this connection that you're surcharging me for, which I feel is a fair point. But there's a kind of thing where you could tell it was a bit like, you're really just supposed to pay this and not moan, right? And that's the civil thing to do, and he's right, But then, I was brought up in an atmosphere of, like, as you say, super violence. Like, it was just like absolutely the fucking Wild West.
Yeah.
And I feel I've come a long way from there. But if you say, and you should never get a little tetchy, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah. Oh,
so
of course. Yeah,
I do try, but sometimes that stuff is just in there somewhere, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. Side note, this is from Jack. I didn't read the PS, the side note. Side note, I saw Christopher and Frankie in Cardiff at the new theatre, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Excited to, or not excited, but I'm wondering what exact date that was, because some of them were...
First one sound was rough, and then the second one, they got some new equipment in, and it was good.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah, it was awesome. I went to Jollibee, the Filipino fast food chain, those gigs, and absolutely feasted on
jerk chicken.
No, they don't do chicken. They do like spicy spaghetti, because they were colonized by the Americans, so they have like they have like they love like fucking American fast food. So it's like fried chicken restaurant, but they think that you should have spaghetti with hot dogs cut up in it and stuff like that. It's awesome. Shout out to Jollibee, sponsor of the pod.
What was this guy's question? Oh,
Christopher's set was mostly about Cardiff Market closing down, which isn't true. I didn't do 20 minutes. That was mostly. I done 2 jokes. I don't have a full Cardiff Market set. Fortunately, this was never the case. But curse you for scaring me at the thought of never having a Cardiff Market Welsh cake again. Sorry. I'd just like to apologise to anybody who's seen me opening up for Frankie. I didn't think that I would be offending people in such a way, but...
Wasn't our worst episode in Wales because we went to Swansea when I was so ill with the cold that I'd gone deaf.
Yeah.
And
slightly blind as well.
And slightly blind, and I couldn't speak, really, which was a big thing. I was drinking cough medicine on stage at Swansea Arena, and a big bit of paper fell down, fluttering from the sky, and I tried to grab it. It was so like a stress dream. I kept trying to grab it all the way down, and eventually it just hit the floor. And everyone went, oh. Like that. It was like an absolute fucking nightmare. And then we had to pull the second night, live in a fucking Airbnb in Swansea with Barbara, our tour manager, and a guy there was renting us the flat, but he was a guy, we shan't say his name, but it was a Welsh name, and the post was arriving for someone called Mohammed, and he had a lot of pictures of himself with his parents around the place, and we theorised that he was in a gay relationship with someone called Mohammed, and didn't want his parents to know about it. But we got a lot of Mohammed's gear while we were there, and we had a Robert Pattinson film series.
We used this Amazon Prime to buy a
We used
film.
this Amazon Prime to buy several of Robert Pattinson's finest films.
How did we not get a fucking 2-star review on Airbnb after that, man? Fucking using the hosts. Do they get upset if you don't fucking strip your bed and put it in the washing machine and all that type of stuff? Amazing. That was it. But honestly, I know you were going through it in terms of your physical health due to the frankly insane tour that we were on.
That was straight back from Ireland. We just come back from Ireland.
I hadn't done the Irish leg, so I was fresh as a daisy.
Ah.
And then you came back and you were like, you know, shaken by the experience of being in your favourite country in the world.
Have you ever seen, what's that film? It's called it's Nicole Kidman and she doesn't know she's dead.
Oh, What Lies Beneath? The Others?
The Others.
Yeah, sorry.
And in The Others, Christopher Eccleston comes back from the war and is just kind of like staring about the place and stuff because he's really dead and he's a ghost and they're in limbo or something, but you don't know that. But he's just like being really kind of weird and kind of like you think he's got shell shock. That's what I was like on the Welsh leg.
Yeah.
And they couldn't have been nicer. They gave us Welsh biscuits. The crowds were very accepting of the fact that we'd had to postpone the show, unlike some other towns.
You hear that, Canterbury?
The crowds were like, oh, well, obviously if you were ill,
Yeah.
you know. And then even people were like, oh, we could tell you were really putting yourself through it in the last show. And I was like, this is the only time audiences have ever responded with any humanity.
Maybe
Hats off to Wales.
Maybe Swansea in some sense is kind of spiritually sick and they could relate on some level. They're like, oh, you're as fucked as we are.
Don't do them down, man.
I'm not,
Don't
I thought Swansea was
kindness.
phenomenal. I thought they were phenomenal.
They've gone to stroke your face and you've bent their fucking fingers back. Like
And
that.
that's the trauma that I have from growing up in Glasgow. It makes me instinctively snap at kindness.
Well, that might be the root of our whole
Personalities. Yeah.
You never really get that on those documentaries about comics, do you? They never go, well, he was basically incredibly traumatised.
That was the thing about him, you know, that I loved, was that he was ultimately unknowable. Swansea was, I mean, that weekend we spent in Mumbles on the Welsh coast. I know you were going through it, but
Lovely.
For me, I remember going down to the beach.
I took a photo of you on that beach,
Yeah.
which was an invasion of your privacy, but, you know.
I was gazing out.
I was gazing out wistfully across the sea.
I was going through it.
Did I ever send it to you?
I don't think so. I'd love to see it.
I'll find it for you.
It was like, I mean, it was, if you ever, there's a Los Campesinos song, my favourite Welsh indie pop group, and they have a song called The Sea is a Great Place to Think About the Future. And it is, you just go out, you have a look, and you watch it go in and out, and you go, well, that's the cycle of the moon, that's the cycle of the sun, that's the cycle of the sea. You know, we live in cycles, and maybe some cycles should end. It was beautiful. I came to terms with things there in Mumbles. And I also thought, you know, I'd love to retire here with a pack of greyhounds.
I think it'd be good for both you and Mumbles if you ended up there.
So, thank you so much, Jack, for the question.
Have we answered that in any way?
Perhaps the opposite. We've been somewhere and utterly resented a certain aspect of how they do things.
I find a slight thing. You might get this if you went to a very posh English town, but generally not. There's too much civility. But you do get it in America, which is people will just not process your accent. Because they go, I'm at the top of the cultural tree. I've heard someone with an accent. I'm just going to go, what?
Sorry. I can't hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh.
And like, I've been in America and gone to the same place to order the same meal, being an autist, like for a week, and someone's going, oh, what are you talking about? And you're like, well, it's the same thing I suggested the day before. And I think you can understand the accent, you just don't want to do the microsecond of decoding, and you know you don't really have to. And that's annoying.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the vowels are coming in from a different angle, and you just need to kind of adjust your head a wee bit. I guess it's weird because, like, it's just that kind of isolationist thing that's so prevalent in America, where they're like, we don't need the rest of the world. We are the world. And you're like, not for much longer. Let's see. China's coming.
Thank God.
Thank God. Thank
Welcome,
Christ.
China.
And various Chinese gods.
bureaucratic. It's a large system of bureaucratic gods, essentially.
I'd love to know more. I'm sure I will know more when I'm re-educated in the camps.
Yeah. A 5-year course in Chinese cosmology.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. Right, well, thank you so much, Jack. Is there anywhere I've been in... Do you know, is there anywhere I've been in and absolutely resented the way they do things? Yes, but I'm just generally quite a resentful person and I don't like change. I think some places in... I went to Surrey recently. I had to do a work in progress. Me and Susie are going back in the extremely near future to the point where this episode will not be out. And I just didn't like the vibe of the place. It was just, I just knew for a fact everybody here's loaded.
It's banker belt.
Yeah.
It's like if you've made some money, there's a certain type of English person aspires to be there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not great.
It was a kind of beautiful moment, though. I don't know if I told you this, where it was a really hot day. And I went down to, there was a public park, and I went down to the river, and there was these fish kind of sunbathing in the heat. Like they were just, when they're wiggling just to keep the place. It's like a whole school of, I don't know, they were bigger than anything you would see in the Kelvin. I don't know if they were trout or something, but they were beautiful, stunning fish, and they were sunbathing. And there was ducks and things, and I sat under the willow with my back to a willow tree, and the perfect kind of canopy and shade of the willow tree was, and a postman came by, and he went, "Sitting under the willow tree, sensible." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm being sensible, man."
The weird thing is I got deja vu there.
Have you done that as well?
And in my deja vu, you say after that, I go, "I've got deja vu," and you go, "No, you've just heard me say it before." So that's my deja vu.
Yeah.
We're in a fucking Inception thing now.
Maybe you have heard me say it before. Is this the deja vu as well?
This is now you're playing into the deja vu.
Yeah. I'm simply a puppet. Simply a puppet in the painting.
Here's the thing you get in England mainly, but you can get it in Scotland as well, obviously. Jobs worthery that you don't really get in other countries. So you don't really get, like that thing I was telling you about. I went to a buffet on the train and there was a guy who was like, couldn't really walk. And I said, could I get his free stuff to bring it back to him? And they went, no, he would have to come down.
No, I'm afraid we can't do that.
Well, he can't walk. Could you just, and they're like, well, he'd have to show me his ticket. I'm like, okay, and you've got to think of a way around it. Go, if I show you my ticket, then I buy stuff, and I can give the guy the regular stuff and whatever. And you're like, in France, if someone did that to you, it'd be because they were being a prick.
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
they hated you.
Yeah, they hated you. They didn't
you bullied them in school and they remember it.
There would be some, but any other country, certainly in Europe, they would sort of go, oh, how do we get round this?
Yeah.
At worst. Do you know what I mean?
My girlfriend she was on the tube. Do you know how the tube joins into the overground rail sometimes? And you tap on. She got out to the middle of nowhere to pick up a chest of drawers from a Facebook Marketplace thing, and she was out past the limits of London. And the guy was like, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not from." She's clearly not from. Just got an accent. And the guy's like, "I'm sorry, I'm generally considered a bit of a jumpsmith by my colleagues, but we're gonna have to charge you fine." And
fine.
Yeah,
so not even just a ticket.
Fined her for not having a ticket. Essentially, you're not really supposed to do that. And it's like, come on, man. I would love to murder him.
I was on that train. I was on back up this weekend from London. Mm-hmm. The train I was supposed to be on was on platform 2, and I got on the train on platform 3. So it was really obvious what had happened. Mm-hmm. And then the guy was like, "No, I'm gonna," and you're like, "Man, that it's not. Life's not fair, I guess." No. But then I think it would be better, the thing of total civility of just going, "Oh well, my mistake," and just see about it later and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah,
would be better than I'll always be slightly moany if that happens. And I don't know that adds anything, or that it's like the guy's just got to get about his day and he's got to do the thing, and maybe I should just be like, here you go. I
guess they don't have any power in their life, So it's like, this is the one piece of power they have over you or anybody. No one loves them. They don't have children, probably. And this is the one thing they have, is that they can go up to people who are on the wrong train and go, give me some money now.
Well,
you piece of shit.
I don't know that it's that much. I think it's more that there's just a system of stuff that if you turn up on some other train without the fucking voucher, that someone might go, he should have, at the point where
He's covering his
he's
ass.
covering his ass. Which, do you know what I mean? In this economy, fair enough.
Yeah. Who's at blame, really?
Capitalism.
Thatcher. Yeah. Neoliberalism.
Neoliberalism. That's another thing about, like, you know, like ethical share funds and all that thing, like, where you invested in railways. Because, like, that's the ethical thing to invest in. It's greener and all that stuff, but it's also privatised and it's spreading a lot of human misery.
Yeah.
Like, everybody on that train is miserable for a different reason. It's just like, you see comedians who mainly work by train. Have you ever seen any of those?
Me.
And then you. The other one is Robin Ince. Robin Ince only seems to work by train, can't drive. And, like, their lives seem to be really, like, affected by how terrible the profiteering bastards on the trains are.
I'm travelling less for gigs because
these are people trying to get around the country to spread joy. Like, you're, like, immiserating in the interests of what? Some fucker having an extra, like...
a Dutch shareholder.
Having a fucking second boat.
Tell you what I do like to have a wee bright side. Something I like about, can I loosely tie this into the question? Foreign customs or beliefs that I have a fondness for. In Manchester, on the Transpennine Express, there is no coach C where the shop, a lady or a man brings a cart through the train and goes, do you want a drink? You go, I'd love an iron brew, a black coffee, some shortbread, maybe a Twix, maybe a packet of crisps. And you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to leave a bag in your seat that might be pinched. You feel like a human being in maybe a cafe, and there's a degree of civility to it. And I just want to say thank you to the Transpennine Express for restoring my faith in train snacks.
There's something about the train service, isn't there, where it's like, it's a useful Buddhist lesson. Do you know what I mean?
And what?
Well, you think you've got to be somewhere. You think you're important. It's important you get to Manchester for your gig. And the train service is there to say, it's not important to us.
It's not important to the
It's
universe.
not important to the universe.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You're stuck in fucking Crewe and you're not going to get to do your gig and everyone's going to have to get refunded.
Yeah.
And it's a tremendous lesson in humility
It's a leveler.
that we have to take on board.
Doesn't matter if you're in first class, you're not getting
that
to
either.
Euston.
Yeah.
You're stranded in Wigan. Warrington. Anyway, thank you, Jack. I'm sorry that I made you believe that the Cardiff market was closing down. Tell you what, I went to Leeds market. Have you been there? Highgate Market in
Have I
Leeds?
been there? I've been all around the markets of Leeds a few weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because you were where I was, yeah. Shout out to the new Glee Club in Leeds, fantastic comedy club. If you're a Yorkshire-based brain damaged ape, I'm trying to bring back the fan group named Brain Damaged Apes for people listening to this. If you're
I thought you were just describing the standard Glee crowd.
no. In the first episode, we called the listeners to this Brain Damaged Apes, and we forgot to do it for, I would say, 160 episodes. So I'm bringing it back.
Good club.
Great club, really nice curtains and stage and sound quality and lights and bar, and it's in a good spot in town. Please check it out if you're a Yorkshire legend. And the market there, I thought, was absolutely... It was the day Ozzy Osbourne was retiring and all the goths were in the market selling off crow-themed hats and
lovely.
various home decorations if you love skeletons and things like that.
It's like the only problem with that town is full of stags and hens. Like to the point where there must be 4,000 or 5,000 stags and hens staying in the city centre over a weekend. So I would go out of the hotel at 11 every morning and there's already Vikings and fucking Blues Brothers. Some people dressed up as bees. Some people in fucking pink leotards.
Yeah.
And they're all drinking.
Yeah.
Like, people start drinking the minute the fucking pub opens.
I was getting a 10:30 a.m. train from Leeds to Glasgow, and on Sunday there, and the Weatherspoons was rammed with people, really down in pints and like, oh, I won't have a pint, I'll have a big glass of wine. And it's like it's the morning, guys. You're not in an airport. Even that's weird, but like, you're not in an airport. You're in Leeds train station. But
Can I also say, can we get fucking vending machines back on the platforms so that when we're avoiding all the cunts in the main bit, we can still get a Twix?
Yeah.
There used to be more vending machines on platforms.
Can I say something? I don't know if you'll agree with this, maybe, but what I've noticed from my recent trips to Manchester and Leeds is that Boots don't refrigerate the drinks,
Yes.
and WH Smith's does
Yeah.
refrigerate the drinks.
Mm.
Never get a train drink from Boots because
No.
the fridges aren't turned on. They make a noise.
They're just saving money.
They're saving money.
They're playing a fridge noise underneath that thing.
They're paying a wee boy to
Yeah.
go underneath it.
Well, in Manchester, every cunt speaks like that anyway. So
Yeah.
it's just the hum of conversation.
Yeah. I went for a walk down the canal in Leeds.
All right, I wouldn't do that.
No?
No, I wouldn't. Not in a strange town.
I love a canal system. I looked up, I sent this to Rhea, who runs the Leeds Glee. Wait a minute, I'll find this. This was just an idea for a holiday, maybe for the podcast, maybe for just whoever. But you can go on a walking holiday from Leeds to Liverpool and walk along the canal for like 9 days straight, stopping off in Barnsley or Wigan or what
You're
have you.
calling that a holiday? I'm calling that a fucking refugee crisis. I can't imagine the social upheaval that would lead to me willingly making that horrendous walk.
I believe it's the plot of 28 Years Later. It's that walk. I love to go by the canal. There was really turquoise coloured dragonflies hovering and ducks and lily pads and there was some industrial waste as well. But I find it really relaxing walking by the canal for some reason, even though I've went on the Reddit and a lot of people get pushed in. A lot of cyclists, gangs will kind of hang about there and go, oh, cyclist coming through. And then when cyclists come through, they shove the cyclist. And a few of them have died, sadly. So I have seen that, but I'm still planning my 9-day walking tour from Leeds to Liverpool through Barnsley and Wigan. And I think that would be a really nice way to spend a week or two.
That's real sad about those cyclists.
But you did have a smile when I said that.
I don't think cyclists should be on canal paths.
No.
And
No, you don't.
and if these people have to Batman them, I
Yeah.
don't agree with them being killed, but why
Vi-
wouldn't vigilante mobs start to form?
Vehicles are for streets.
Get yourself. Also, you keep the fucking psychopaths
Yeah.
open. Then you're degrading your own cycle infrastructure
Mm.
by whizzing about in the canal, where it could be somewhere where people take their kids or whatever, but they can't because you're fucking whipping about,
Yeah,
Getting-
whizzing past
getting
in
muddled.
lycra.
Do you know what I mean?
Disgraceful behaviour.
Cyclists are really touchy. When we
Yeah.
did that stuff about cyclists, like they get in touch
Oh
every
yeah,
time.
yeah. They go, well, really? So they kind of act like you're fucking, like a genocide denier or something. The way they speak to you, they come in and they're like, really? All my friends and family who cycle are being murdered on the streets by motorists, and you're having a go just because a cyclist ran over your dog's lead and choked your dog to death, snapped its neck instantly. You think that's everybody's fault and not one bad apple? You're like, come on, man, it's a joke.
Stop at traffic lights. Do you know what I mean? You want to improve your standing with the pedestrian community. Stop just fucking riding through so
Yeah.
you nearly kill us.
Yeah, that would be awesome, guys. And maybe wear looser clothes.
Wear looser clothes or camouflage
Your cock.
your cock and balls in some way.
I don't want to see the exact shape of your shapeless arse. The way that your back goes right into your legs without any curvature. See, if you have an arse, show it off. See if you have an absence of arse, an anti-arse, an indent where your bumhole goes, don't wear lycra. Not to body shame anybody.
But
But I'm deeply body shaming the one guy I keep seeing on the Kelvin Walkway.
what are you training for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you
It's
training
like, come
for?
on. The apocalypse has already happened.
You think your family want you to get home quicker? Do you know what I mean? You fucking creepy Batman villain dressed fucking touchy arsehole.
Yeah.
They
Ding
would,
ding.
they would rather you took 3 trains and a walk. Do you know what I mean? They'd be happy if you turned up at 8 and I've left some dinner in the oven for you. It's still warm.
Yeah.
They don't want you fucking there at 5:45 with your fucking
It's good for
twitching
it's good for
thigh
fitness.
fibres.
It's good for fitness. They don't want you alive longer.
No,
They want you here. Nah, that's probably too harsh.
it's not. It's not too harsh.
Well, it's harsh if you don't want really annoying messages on Instagram.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah. I hope you enjoy living in Japan, Jack. You know what I liked about Japan? The bakery scene. The croissants, the pastries, where, my God, they have a real hard-on for France. Like, they love France so much. They wish they were France, essentially. And they just, every bakery you were in was just absolutely world-class and individually wrapped, and it was like heaven. Everybody was heaven.
Do you think anime? I think there's a crossover with French kind of comic books and Mobius and
Yeah.
French storytelling cinema.
Yeah. Even like Tintin or something, like French animation. 100%.
Evangelion certainly wouldn't be, if you were to place it in the European film canon, it wouldn't be.
I miss.
It wouldn't be British, it would be French.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, there you go, Jack. Thank you so much. There you go, brother. Let's do another one. Hi, Frankie, Susie, and Christopher, and Bruce Randy. Not sure if this is mailbag worthy, but I thought you'd be interested in this. I've noticed a couple of times that you have mentioned whether Mrs. Columbo existed or was a figment of Lieutenant's imagination. Yes, we've mentioned this a few times. Well, guess what? There was a spin-off from Columbo.
Guess what? Listen to this fucking prick. Well, guess what? Like, we didn't know there was a Mrs. Columbo. Like, we don't exist in the same culture as you.
Guess what? There was a spin-off from Columbo. It starred Kate Mulgrew, Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager.
We know. We also have eyes.
As Mrs. Columbo, a news reporter who solves crimes while raising her daughter. It ran for 2 short seasons and did not do well. It debuted in February 1979 as a spin-off to Columbo, focusing on his wife, who's never given a first name in the original Columbo series, but was named Kate in this series. After poor ratings and reception from both audiences and the original producers of Columbo, which is unprofessional of them to really state anything about it, both the series and the eponymous character herself were renamed in an attempt to change direction, but this did not help ratings. Neither Peter Falk nor the character of Lieutenant Columbo ever appeared on the show.
Well, to what extent is it canon then? Do you know what I mean? A lot of stuff happens in fictional universes, and you don't go, like, Batman goes back in time to become a caveman in the Grant Morrison Batman series. Then if I talk about Batman, does I get someone go, well, actually, he was a caveman? You can't insist on all iterations of a fictional thing.
Yeah. I'd imagine in this, you know, in the world that we live in now, we're much more au fait with the idea of the multiverse and things of that nature. You would probably regard Mrs. Columbo as a kind of AU, alternate universe version of Columbo rather than as... I think also somebody worked out age-wise, if you went the age of Kate Mulgrew when she was in that versus what age he was, it was like his wife was like 12 when they met. And I don't think we're comfortable as a culture with the idea that Columbo was a prolific one-eyed paedophile.
He'd take his eye out and roll it as a marble to entrance children.
Under doors to see what was behind the locked door.
Excuse me, I've lost my marble.
No, my wife's a paedophile, sorry. My wife's 12 years old. I don't know.
I think his wife was his Jungian. Is it anime? Like no, not anime. Anima. His female side. And he could access it very clearly. So he's like, my wife. And he means when he goes home and he throws off his masculine persona. Is it the animus? Is it
Where's the slip?
And he's
nylons.
I throw on my tights. And I love the work of this composer.
My wife loves to be an anima, Yeah, perhaps. I mean, maybe, yeah. And it's just a way getting to the heart of things, and seeing things from a different perspective.
Like a shaman. Shamans used to dress up as the opposite sex. Traditionally, a male, female would dress up as a female.
Really?
Yeah. And that was a way of accessing a different side of himself. That's probably Columbo. I'm more of a shaman than anything, really.
He was a shamanic totem of justice. Wow.
He was operating on a very narrow class basis. He was just like, if I turn up to something and some rich guys there, probably they did it.
Which is true.
He's got a very sort of Marxist.
And I think that's something, because I know recently, who was it? Rian Johnson, I think, he has Poker Face, which is a kind of attempt to do, and they ape the titles of Columbo with the opening credits and stuff. But it was an attempt to be like, what if Columbo was in the modern day and it was a woman, and for some reason they had a magical power where they could tell where someone was lying.
That they'd never managed to make any money out of. Unbelievable. They work in a casino and have never been able to monetize the fact that they are the world's greatest poker player. Okay. Good plot. Let's get going.
Yeah. It's a crazy show that is not good.
There's a thing where you can see notes on screen, like sometimes, and there's like one episode that just starts with her going, if I use my credit card, the fucking guy that's after me will be here in 3 hours. And you're always getting a note in scripted stuff going, can it be a ticking clock?
Can it be a ticking clock?
And so she sets the thing to 3 hours and looks at a thing, and you're just like...
And then a crime happens and she goes, ooh, I'll have to solve this in 3 hours.
There are not enough morons in the world. Nobody is that... I mean, it's a metaphor. The first thing is it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. When people say, can there be a ticking clock? You mean, can we create some greater sense of urgency here? Yeah. But it's become actualised and you actually see it happen in things. And it's a real waste of everyone's time, that show, I think.
Yeah, it could have been good. But I think one thing they might lose from it is the class analysis. Obviously, Natasha Lyonne in real life is incredibly moneyed, I believe, comes from... it's a showbiz background, I think. But the character is like, I work in a casino. But like in the third episode, the bad guy's like a trailer park guy who works in a gas station, and someone wins the lottery, and then he kills them, takes the ticket and stuff. And it's like, well, you've immediately lost the interesting thing about Columbo, which was would Italian people be considered people of colour back in the 70s?
Oh, it changed. So the Italian people would have been considered people of colour, and it started to change after the Second World War,
right?
Because there was this kind of deal with the mob and Lucky Luciano to protect American docks, right. And they sort of became incorporated into the racial structure of America more there, and it progressed into the 70s when people are still being called slurs, to now where they would kind of be considered white.
Yeah. So it's like he was like, and he always talks about it in the episodes. He's always like, I'm Italian. He's always eating chili in a fucking diner and stuff in the early episodes, which is awesome. We love that. But it's this thing of like, here's an immigrant cop in LA, and he's disgusting. His jacket's filthy, and he smells of smoke, and he's going in and he's taking down the big dogs, the film directors and the composers and the gallery owners,
The magicians?
the magicians of the world, the Nazi magicians, though.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen
1979 episode of Columbo. If there's any consolation to anyone offended by the Nazis, the actor died in the most horrible way imaginable. Don't look it up.
No, it's really sad.
It's really terrible.
And he was a great villain.
He was a great villain twice.
3 times?
3 times. Yeah. He was a magician. He was a writer who killed his co-writer.
That was in the first
episode, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Once, twice, 3 times a Columbo villain.
Not the melody to that song, but
it's, well, you know. So yeah, I mean, don't know.
I guess nowadays there would be a podcaster. There'd be like a Joe Rogan.
Instead of a detective?
I
thought...
Why is fucking Joe Rogan investigating this?
My wife loves Patreon, you know. Yeah. Now she loves BetterHelp. My wife, yeah, really. You're saying nowadays Joe Rogan would have a guest on?
No,
they would cancel him mid-podcast. Joe Rogan would go, "Oh, is that right? Put something in the branded water, liquid death. No. Make it actually liquid death.
Have one of my brain pills.
Oh, wow.
It's actually fucking rat poison." And then it has to wipe the video feed.
But
then,
the Bruce Randy of the Joe Rogan. Wow, we should write this down.
Yeah.
Let's pitch it to BBC Scotland.
Yeah.
And they will not make it because it's a good idea. But wow. That was from Stephen from Tipperary. Does that change the way you took his question?
I've forgotten his question.
It was just going, are you familiar with Mrs. Columbo?
Oh, well, what a pedantic Irish fuck. Yeah, we know.
Where was it? We were in Turles. That's where we were in Tipperary.
Turles, yeah.
Turles. I hope you enjoy the local arts centre in Turles, Stephen.
We
Absolutely cracking place to see
Sharon
Shannon.
And
the box fiddle maestro.
There's a little cathedral there I would have liked to go to. We almost had dinner with the 2 Johnnies, but they were hosting a quiz night somewhere.
I think me, you and the 2 Johnnies is a crossover that will please no one.
I think Columbo would go into us like a fucking bowling ball into a set of pins, man.
So why were you? You were seeing Shannon. My wife loves the box fiddle. Really? She's never not playing your music, Miss Shannon. And you say that the bass player for you two was what did you mean by that?
My wife was fascinated by the story of the GAA catfish. She can't get enough of that. Let's remember my take on the GAA catfish, which is...
Let's have a bit of background
context?
for any... What would a crack and tan, as a blind boy would say.
Yeah. The 2 Johnnies present a podcast where one of their most popular series of episodes is about a woman, the GA catfish, who was catfishing through various social media profiles, both one of the 2 Johnnies, one of the podcasters, and famous Irish footballers, famous GA players. And you know what? Now that it's all kind of wound up and there's been several episodes and blah, 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 my take is she's not really doing any harm. She's trapping a few thirsty podcasters and a few
Someone's not getting invited for dinner with the 2 Johnnies anytime soon, Frankie.
A few big GAA dafties.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
No.
And, maybe it's just a wee warning. Be very careful if someone who looks like a supermodel online keeps trying to hook up with you and he's never there.
Yeah.
Take a telling.
Yeah,
Do you know
maybe
what I mean?
have a FaceTime.
There's also a slight thing where it's people are going like, and then the 15th time I went to try and see her. And you're like, fucking cop on.
Take a hint, brother.
Take a hint.
Yeah.
It's the internet. Get on your toes.
Yeah. The crazy thing about the GA catfish stuff for me was that, like, generally the tone of the 2 Johnnies would not be amiss in global media. It's a very mainstream, normal, millennial, slightly pop punk coded. They've released a few singles in the style of Busted.
Someone not me, described him as a culshy busted.
A phenomenal way to put it.
Culshy is a pejorative Irish term for someone from the countryside.
It's chuckter.
It's chuckter. It's Irish chuckter.
Irish chuckter. And nobody likes being called it, I've found. Yeah. If someone's from Cork and you go, oh, you know, you shouldn't even bring it up to someone from Cork.
I tell you what, though, when people in Donegal wouldn't mind being called a culshy because they wouldn't know what the fuck you meant, because it's so isolated that they don't even know that they've been insulted.
I can't wait to go to Donegal at some point in my life and really be took.
Mate, I'm going to be over soon.
Well, listen, I won't be doing the French next year, so maybe we should marry Dunlowit.
Mary of Dunlowit, man.
Stephen from Tipperary said, love the pod, to finish off his letter. Any plans to do some live shows in Ireland? Right now, the podcast is very much up in the air.
The podcast?
If you've ever seen a volleyball tournament, you'll know that oftentimes things can be up in the air.
I'm trying to think of a film that might be like a current situation. Titanic. But yeah, we don't know really about the longevity of the podcast for various reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could go to Mary from Dunlow anyway.
I'll be doing stand up in Ireland next year at some point.
I've got a really nice place in Ireland for a week. No.
In the autumn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I won't actually, but I'll be interested in that off
Mm-hmm.
mic.
Mm-hmm.
I love Ireland. The crisps, the chocolate, the people, the butter, the sausages.
The social acceptability of having a chalk ice at any time of day in any situation.
Yeah. And like the pints. My goal this year is to have a pint of Beamish.
Oh yeah.
And to have a pint of, what's the other one? It's like a Guinness, but it's not Guinness essentially. It's like a
Murphy's.
stout. I need to have a pint of Murphy's stout and a pint of Beamish and just kind of see what else is out there.
I know you've not been watching this series of Love Island.
No, I have not. Have you?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they got an Irish guy on there who's an Irish rugby player. Right. And what do you think he's doing? Episode 2, so you have the introduction episode, they pick each other and blah, blah, blah. And see you next week for essentially the first thing. What do you think he's doing? The first scene that you see him in Love Island, he's sitting in the, in their fire pit or whatever. Yeah. He's eating a chalk ice.
Really?
It doesn't even seem. I've never seen a chalk ice on Love Island before.
No. I didn't think they had access to it. How did he get it?
He'll have probably in his contract.
Yeah. Listen, I'll do it. I need a constant stream of chalk ices around the fire pit. Chalk ice on the fire pit sounds like a great way to live your life. The heat, dancing at your toes while chocolate ice cream melts in your mouth.
Sounds like it should be sung to the tune of Footsteps on the Dance Floor.
What does that go like?
Chalk ice on the fire pit reminds me, baby, of you. I'll be true.
Oh yeah, I know that song. Did I tell you about the chalk top?
No. Was this Susie?
Susie, you're right. Okay. That's
It's
us.
good.
Yeah.
We've been talking about chalk ices for about 25 minutes.
It's one of my
Columbo.
favourites, man. I know, but what about when the ice cream van came and it was like, but there's chalk ices in the freezer. You ever like that?
We never even had fucking chalk ices in the freezer. We had, never mind, there's fuck all.
Never mind this fuck all.
What about a wee Jubilee?
Oh,
Quentry cup
Jubilee.
frozen.
Yeah. And also you could suck all the fucking flavouring out of it and all the good stuff and then have the thing left as a weapon with a pre-made sling, the Jubilee cup. So you could just shoot it at some cunt's neck.
People make Glasgow. I'm just going to keep saying this every time we talk violence. What else has been happening?
Christopher was referring to something as the chocolate tip. I don't know.
The chalk top.
The chalk top.
In Australian cinemas, they dip full ice cream inside chocolate, then flash freeze it, then sell it in a plastic bag. So you're in the cinema with a frozen chocolate ice cream and then it melts in your hands and it's extremely messy. I guess they grow up with it so they don't make it.
In your hands? There's no stick?
No, there's a cone and stuff. I just fucked it. I don't know. I was unfamiliar with the science. And
I'm a fan of a cornetto.
of course, yeah.
Do you enjoy a wee
This would be a
cornetto?
cornetto, but dipped in chocolate and then remember we went to that cookie place in Birmingham for my birthday.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
It was like that, but encased. Yeah, cornetto's class, yeah.
So see when you were on tour with Frankie Did you go to a cookie and ice cream place?
It was my birthday.
This is such a father-son. I love it.
It's not a father son, it's two colleagues eating ice cream for someone's birthday.
Remember that time we were walking up by the stand? That's when we used to do these warm-up gigs at Glee. We were walking up by the stand, and this German lassie comes out and recognises me.
Oh my god, Frankie Boyle. She had no voice, right? She was like, I can't, oh my god. She's a big Frankie fan, but she couldn't speak. She was like, lost her voice. I'm sorry, I lost my voice. Frankie Boyle, what are you doing here?
But she doesn't know who Christopher is, so at some point she goes, slightly rudely I would think, she goes, so who are you? To Christopher, and Christopher went, I'm a colleague. We're two colleagues out for a stroll.
I believe one of my best friends accosted you. Not accosted you, but came up to you in the south side the other week. And
Oh yeah, and she had a mad nickname that was like
Gooby.
Gooby.
Gooby
And I was like,
McAvoy.
to me, Gooby says like goober. And I was like, has Susie nicknamed her this because she's a mad, clumsy goober?
No, it's because she had a big Gooby bus stop here when we were growing up, but she's still Gooby. Still one of my best mates.
She was slightly deformed growing up, so we made fun of her.
Bus
But
stop.
she's a great person.
A bus stop here was nothing, man. It's absolutely nothing
What's
growing
a
up.
bus stop here?
It's when one ear kind of stands out more than the other, so
Oh,
it
I
looks
see.
like a big bus stop. But she's good. She's a long time listener
Oh.
of the Guillotine. She used to listen when she lived in France and when she lived in Florida, and she used to thoroughly enjoy it, listening to us gibbering pish
Well, we've put paid to that with several rambling responses to
people's problems.
people's problems.
I think that could be an episode there. I mean,
We often say that.